Nice. I was excited to catch some of that and see what you guys are doing here. It's really cool to see the community coming together, getting tighter on reviews. How is my screen share looking, guys?
I see you.
Loading for me. I wonder if it's
All
a stages thing.
right. Give it a second. But I'm excited, as GJ said, to talk a little bit about networks conceptually. And then we'll also talk about networks a little bit within the context of MetricsDAO and the direction that we're going there. So this can be somewhat of a all over the place topic, so bear with me. Really looking forward to questions, in the chat, live, and in the Networks 101 channel. So let's keep this conversation going. Just to start off, I'd say like networks are all around us. So networks are kind of this encompassing concept that we can recognize. Like DAOs are made up of networks. A working group is a network. Companies are networks. Companies have many networks within them. A sports team is a network. The fan base of that sports team is an extended peripheral network to that team. You could have geographical networks, like the people that live in your same country or neighborhood. Yes, link is coming. Families, friend groups, credentials. So basically, like you have all these different concepts. These are just groups of people. We call these groups of people a network. The network does not necessarily have to be on chain. It's just a network. All of us in this room right now, we are a network. How much we determine or decide to lean into this particular network is up to all of us. So MetricsDAO is a network of networks. You think about MetricsDAO challenge processes. This is kind of like primarily, at least historically, a 3-network process. MetricsDAO assists in providing this framework, provides a mission, and also mechanisms for coordination. But we see here like that we have the MetricsDAO analyst network, we have the MetricsDAO reviewer network, which a lot of you guys are in. We have the MetricsDAO bounty ops or challenge ops network. In the labor markets protocol, this protocol that we've built for MetricsDAO enables network autonomy. So now we can start to see more networks come into being. We have Pine, we have the Watchman, Samurai. We could have your network here as well. The cool thing here is that now that Bounty Ops as a network that's determining workflow or where funds are going for different requests can start to choose where to route work based on where it makes sense. So I'm going to move through these slides back and forth a little bit. But we can see here that, maybe Bounty Ops or Challenge Ops is going to choose to route work to the MetricsDAO analyst network and then route the review work over the Watchman network. We can imagine that they are routing the review work over to your network. They could be coordinating between Pine and your network, coordinating between the analysts in your network. So again, there's different ways here that MetricsDAO bounty ops or challenge ops has some power and autonomy to route work to these different networks. So then, okay, how do we, take this amorphous concept of a network and actually make it operationalizable within the technology we've built? So we have 2 pieces of technology that enable us to do this. First one is labor markets. That's the protocol that's underneath the MetricsDAO application. And then we also have another piece of technology called Badger, which is a simple ERC 1155 factory. You could theoretically use other 1155 sets, but we wanted to make something that allows other people to create these networks and get started. And when establishing a marketplace, you can kind of determine which networks are able to do which functions. So again, just swinging back to a previous slide, these labor marketplaces coordinate 3 networks. A network that's enabled to launch challenges and fund them, a network that's enabled to respond to challenges, a network that is able to review those responses. So when we set up a marketplace, we determine which 3 networks are going to be coordinating. So here are some of the active ERC 1155 networks inside of MetricsDAO. Specifically, I say MetricsDAO, the organization. We have Xmetric Masters, we have Samurai. I believe these are both networks that are determined based on token holdings. We have the Watchman, which is a self-governing group. Pine, which is also a self-governing group. Eager Beaver and Solar Core, these are curated. And then we also have this newer network, Salakau, Sorry, I'm butchering that name. And I'm not sure how they're, determining their membership, but we can imagine that all of these networks have different mechanisms for growing, different mechanisms for pruning, and determining who's inside of them. Here, a little bit different. So again, here we're talking about networks that are active inside the organization layer. These are some networks that are active currently inside of the protocol and the application. So we see Xmetric Masters. These are badges that people are holding that enable them to do different things in different marketplace. So the MetricsAPP beta launch, the Xmetric Masters are essentially performing the reviewer network activity. Inside this Pine marketplace, we can see that there are two different Pine badges, which I don't personally hold, but two different Pine badges that PineDAO manages and uses those to determine which networks are being coordinated. And this one's a little bit of a leap, but I hope we can continue to have more conversations about this over the next few months. We can think about these networks as kind of composable micro-DAOs inside of MetricsDAO. These are all different groups of people that are self-governing. If they're badged and on-chain and using 1155s, they become interoperable with each other through the labor markets protocol. Because of that, they're then coordinatable, and they're also contained. So these networks, especially the way that we've developed tooling for them, they're prunable. They can grow. They can shrink. They're middle out managed. They're transparent. So this, again, I understand this concept is a bit of a leap, but I'd ask that we all kind of attempt to take that leap and have this conversation together. Another really important piece here is how do you make your network successful? And what does it really even mean to make your network successful? If we swing back a few slides here and we realize that networks are being coordinated, I would think that having a successful network could be as simple as your network's earnings. What opportunities is your network getting exposed to? And how successful are they in earning funds? So some of these networks will be earning a lot more money than other networks. So how do we do that? How do we make our network successful? I have a few different things here. So I'd say network boosting does not require you to be the leader. So if you're, say, a part of the Watchmen, but you're maybe not the leader of the Watchmen, that doesn't mean that you can't go be a huge advocate or evangelist for the Watchmen. You should work with other people inside your network to understand what your identity is and how you guys want to put yourself out there. But at the same time, network actions are semi-permissionless. They're socially enforced. So you can kind of do whatever you want in this world, but other people are going to have responses to that and, might change your outcomes based on your actions, but they're socially enforceable. So work within, the social systems of your network. Network shapes will be diverse. This means that we'll have some networks that are these curated groups, some networks that are based on, some sort of automatic pruning and growth. Maybe it's based on token holdings. You could have networks that are just purely curated. So I could come in and handpick a group of people and say that, look, I'm the dictator of this network. I'm choosing who's inside of it. I'm choosing who's going to get kicked out. All these different shapes are good. They lead to marketplace diversity. They give us more ways to coordinate people and drive outcomes. Network branding. So I know we just had an awesome Twitter Pro course, which I've seen a lot of people utilizing the skills from and doing greater threads, things like that. Think about branding your network. You are operating now with the power of many instead of just the power of yourself. You guys can have a shared identity. You can kind of put that into the ether as a team. And I think that's pretty cool. And then just another call out here again, networks must market themselves as the best group to take on work. It's kind of unrealistic to expect any individual to just be omniscient and be aware of all the networks that exist in the world. If you make your network tangible, make it real, and you talk about it, you're more likely to get work routed to you than if you don't. And that's about it. So I do have some links here. They're in the slides. You should be able to hit them. Trybadger.com is where you can start to build out your 1155 network. Have a query where you can say, explore the different badges that you have. I'd love more comments in Networks 101 and questions here as well. And yes, GJ, I would say that alone you are not enough. You must become many. You must become more, and that will make you more powerful. Operationalize a group of people, you're going to be more impactful. I do, GJ, 15 minutes. I knocked him out.
Super inspiring, Drake. Thank you.
I am really impressed that you were able to pull that off, Drake. To be honest. Guys, make networks, but before you do that, ask questions. We have seen tremendous performance from the Watchmen, from Celisao, from Eager Beavers, and some of the others that are starting to spin up. Solar Core has been sort of going on like low key for a long, long time. Now we're, bringing them into the sun as well, so to speak. So we're seeing great results from networks, which means we want more networks. We want to pay you as part of a network. We want to continue seeing people coming up with their own network Twitter profiles. Obviously, every network has its own Discord channel, but networks are doing great work. That's inspiring to us. We want to keep doing it, and we need your help to do that. So if it's hard, if it's frictionful, ask questions. Let us know how to make this easier, more comprehensible, how we can make this as seamless as possible for you. And we're going to keep doing it and keep leaning into it. Leaderboard, duly noted. Tell us what things you want, whether it's submissions graded, earnings, whether it's members. The more you tell us, the more we can take back to the builders and say, hey, people care about this. Have you considered it? Is it on the roadmap? Each network sets its own criteria, except for those that MetricsDAO is setting. So, for example, the Samurai, we curate that one. Every individual network decides what its entrance criteria are. So it's going to change from network to network. We have yet to publicize those, but we have put surveys out there for every network about what can you do to enter. We're going to publish those as soon as everyone has completed that survey exercise, and so it'll be clear how every network operates. If there's one out there that doesn't quite fit, make your own. Invite some friends. Spin it up. A network can be 3 or 4 people. We have, I don't think LT or Andrew are on. We have Spire. I haven't listed it under networks. It's technically a network. It's 2 people. So you can start small and grow. You can always, raise your game to join an existing network, but you can also create your own.
What a packed hour, everyone. Appreciate you, DJ, Drake, Sam. Appreciate everyone who dropped your dashboards to be reviewed and for taking it in stride. We'd love to give you advice. And yeah, let us know your feedback. Always make networks in the Network 101 channel. And we'll see you again soon. We're going to keep doing these dashboard teardowns. So we'll drop another form. You can drop your dashboards. We'll do it all over again. And claim some X metric. And that's it. Thanks, everyone, so much. We'll see you soon. Bye, y'all.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Joe.